Laura Galvan, Director of Social Media at Favorite Daughter. Welcome to Marketing Girly.
I'm so excited to be here. I'm such a fan of the pod. I
Oh my
love it.
goodness. I'm so
Yes.
excited to have
I
you on
listen.
and to chat about your career journey and all of the amazing things you're doing in social media and marketing at Favorite Daughter.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Yay. Okay. Before we jump into everything, can you tell me a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Yeah. So my name is Laura. I'm from New York. I moved to LA about 3.5 years ago, and I run social and marketing at Favorite Daughter. So everything from TikTok, Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook, YouTube, to coordinating with stylists to get our clothing on TV shows and on celebrities. Um, and also like filming the content, editing the content, posting the content, all the
All
things.
the things.
Yeah, all the things.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know every day is different, but can you give me just like some insight into like maybe a week in the life of what your role looks like? Maybe like a little BTS.
Yeah, of course. It really is true. Every day is different, which I think like is what makes the job so fun. On like a Monday or a Friday, I'll go to our store in Beverly Hills and film a bunch of content. Those are kind of the videos that you see run on ads for Reels and TikToks. So that's like a massive part of the week is filming content.
Are
Um,
you the one filming it? Do you have people from your team filming it, or what does that
no,
look like?
I'm filming. I mean, I have this Octobuddy, which we all know and love. But yeah, I'm filming everything either
Oh
with
my
like a
gosh.
tripod or a mirror. But I think that's like what we've learned works well
Yeah.
is like the not overproduced content. We used to have like, someone film and all of this, but it just feels better when it's authentic.
Yeah.
And it feels like it's like part of your day. So again, going to the store, filming a bunch of content. Then we have like a bunch of meetings. I work really cross collaboratively with our email team, our retail and store team to plan events. And then there's the gifting element of it all. So I'm doing the gifting with one of our interns, packing Valentine's Day packages and our Go Sports collection for Super Bowl and all that stuff. Um, and then it's a lot of emails. I'm emailing all day, emailing all day. And then it's really fun because I'm in the LA office, obviously, and that's where we have our fit meeting. So I'll get to like pop into a fitting and see a collection come to fruition a year in advance. And yeah, every day is different, but it's a lot of moving parts and it's kind of fun to be on the inside of something.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay. So cool. So, talk to me a little bit about the social side. So, we were also chatting about how Favorite Daughter is kind of known for this very unique type of content on social and showing some of the employee BTS, doing
Mhm.
pranks, lots of fun stuff. So, tell me about how that kind of got started on social.
Yeah, I feel like it's like twofold almost. There's exactly what you just mentioned, the employee content of it all, which we like to call EGC, employee generated content, which is like the flip side of UGC, right? Which is like what we see everywhere. But if you are a small scrappy brand and you don't necessarily have like influencer budget or budget to pay creators to make videos, you have an entire team in your office that usually is down to make content. And guess what? You don't need to pay them or make a proposal. So we kind of took that and it worked. We did a lot of employee generated content. Sarah and Aaron, our founders, are down to be in all the videos, and then I started posting the videos. They're like 5'9" supermodels. I'm 5'2", so there is kind of like it is nice to have the diversity and showing the clothes on different people. But I think people are responding to like seeing real women in their day to day at the office in the clothes, and that's what translates. So that's one part of it. Like a lot of our ad videos that you see running are me, Sarah, and Erin, and then Jordan Foster is the style director. And she's also down to get in a lot of the content. And again, we're all employees. We've really like never had to like pay an influencer to post. It's all been employee generated content. So that's one side of it. And then the fun side of it is like the really fun prank humor office videos that we're kind of known for. And I think that has really organically developed this community of like people are like always commenting like, oh my God, like you have to do this prank to Sarah. Or like even when we go into the stores, people are like, oh my God, I love that TikTok that you did. It kind of just like created this like inside joke between our customer and our audience. And it translates like, and it's kind of all by accident. Like I like took a video of Sarah in the office for like 2 minutes being like, I wonder how long it'll take her to notice that I'm filming her. But in the video, she's like sitting in a fitting and she's wearing like a pair of our new favorite daughter's shoes. And then everyone's commenting, oh my God, where are those shoes? I have to buy them. So it's like entertainment, but also there is the value, like it
Yeah.
translates into sales.
You're adding their product, but you're not hard selling. It's
Yes.
happening organically.
Yeah, it's all organic. It just happens to just be in the video. So yeah.
Okay, tell me about the first prank.
Oh my God, I'm trying to think. You know what? I think like when I first started at Favorite Daughter 3.5 years ago, it was, everyone's like, we have to get on TikTok. We have to be huge on TikTok. We need to get in on the trending sounds, trending dances. And we tried all that, right? And like, it just didn't feel natural for me to like do these like transitions and do these things. It's just like, I don't know. It just didn't feel natural. And then what really started picking up is like when I would like make fun of like Sarah or Erin in the office. And like those videos would get like 3 million views, 2 million views. And so we kind of just like kept doing more and more of that. But the first prank, I don't know, I think it was probably like, there's one that like I think got 5 million views where it's like me telling Sarah about my day. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'm going to go charge my car. I'm going to go.
This one.
Yeah, that one.
Yes.
I'm going to go send an email. And she's like, what? Am I allowed to curse on this podcast? Maybe not. Okay. She's like,
Sure.
What the F are you talking about? So there's that. Or there's like the one where it's like, say all your favorite buzzword, say all your boss's buzzwords in front of her and pretend you're in a meeting. So that's what we did with Erin. And that was like a funny one. But it's a lot of trolling.
What is it like? Like, let's say somebody's like, oh my gosh, that sounds like so fun, but I'm afraid to ask my boss to do this. Do you have advice for somebody who like wants to pitch this to their team? Like, hey, we should try to be a bit more relatable or a bit more casual in our content.
Yeah. I honestly remember like being so awkward and intimidated in the beginning to like film these videos, especially to like put my phone up and be like, you know, like, come here, like, let's film a video with Sarah. And also like, I was like a fan of them before I started. So, right. So it's like, there was that like intimidation, but I don't know. I think it's like the more you do something enough times, you don't even think about it. It becomes natural. So my advice would be to just like keep doing it. And then once you have proof of concept, they're like, oh, okay, this like works, you know?
Did the first couple employee or EGC, I like that term, or prank content, did it work immediately or did you start to post stuff and it wasn't really working and you kind of had to just like trust your gut and believe that it was going to work?
I feel like when we were doing those like really trending like transitions and sounds, that's like when it wasn't working, right? Like all these like really buzzy TikTok videos. But that was probably for like 2 years. We're like, why are these videos like not getting off the ground? We're using all the right trending audio. We're using all the right transitions. Our lighting is good, yada, yada, yada. What started working was literally just incorporating the clothes into our real lives. So Sarah coming into the office and being like, what are you wearing today, Sarah? Or what size jeans are you wearing? Because do they run big? Do they run small? Like really delivering fit information through these videos and people like respond to that, like talking about inseams and measurements, why someone chose to size up in a sweater, things like that. And then if I'm like going on a date or I'm going to a girls' dinner, really just quickly putting the Octobuddy on the window and being like, I'm running to a girls' dinner, but this is my favorite daughter outfit. And those are genuine and real. And I mean, I wear favorite daughter every single day. That's like my whole entire wardrobe. So when it transitioned or like authentically to our real life, that's when it started picking up. And I'm sure that's like a cliche. Like you have to be authentic, but that is really what worked. And
was it scary to do that at first?
Yeah, I would like literally do 987 takes. And then eventually now I could do them in my sleep because we film so much content every week. But yeah, it was like, I felt so awkward. I would like stutter on my words, this, that. But it's repetition. You have to keep doing something.
Yeah, I also love that because I like the story you share of like we're doing the trends and it's not working because I think a lot of people can relate to that. Like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
I'm doing what I'm asked.
Yeah, but it's not hitting or the account is not growing. And I think sometimes too, you mentioned like we used to have this crew and we would shoot all this stuff and now it's just me on my phone and how so much sometimes with content, like less is more, and
Mhm.
what is more authentic and takes you less time. Like even I find like videos that perform really well are the ones that take the least amount of time to
Mhm.
create sometimes,
So true.
which is so crazy. And sometimes I feel like we think that if we're creating content for a brand, we have to be different. Like we can't do what works for us on our personal
Mhm.
channels.
Right.
But I feel like that's why you've had so much success with Favorite Daughter is you do treat it like a personal channel.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. I think when I had no social media experience before I started, and they really took a chance on me with this job. And when I started and I was doing research of like competitor brands, like looking at, brands that sit on the shelf next to us at department stores, things like that, I was looking at their social and I was like, okay, I'm going to like learn to do this. I'm going to do this. It's really, really polished and it's really beautiful imagery and all the things. And like, we would post these like campaign images and all these like beautiful shots. And like, that's just not what translates. Like people want entertainment and people want community and people want to feel like it's accessible. And so like that's what we've created with our content. Like it's not overly polished. There's no like aesthetic feed or anything like that. There was a point where Sarah and I would argue back and forth. Should we post the reels on feed or should we hide them from grid? And I would say like let's hide them from grid and they'll just circulate in your reels as you're scrolling. And she's like, no, like they should be on feed. It doesn't matter if they like are blurry quality or they don't look good. That is like why people know Favorite Daughter is because our like humorous, unpolished content and
Yeah.
totally unfiltered. And that translates to Sarah and Aaron as founders. They are completely unfiltered. Their banter is like hysterical and it's their brand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
amazing. Okay, well, you mentioned that you had no social media experience when you started
None.
at Favorite Daughter, so we have to talk about that.
Yeah.
Before we get to that, though, I want to rewind just a little bit more because, obviously you got this amazing social media career. Favorite Daughter socials have grown so much, and a
Mhm.
huge part of that is with you leading their socials. So let's rewind them and let's go to Verizon.
Oh, yes. Oh, my God.
I want to turn
First
back the
job.
time. So take me back to the start of your career and kind of how you got into marketing in the first place.
Yeah. So I went to Fashion Institute of Technology. I was a marketing major. And I had like I had so many fashion internships. All I wanted to do was work in fashion. I was working at like Rachel Zoe and Moschino and like Harper's Bazaar. I had all these like amazing internships. And then when it was time to get a job, I could not get a job. And I would just apply for everything on LinkedIn. And I applied for a job at AOL, if you remember
I still have my
TV.
AOL
You
account.
do? Yeah.
Not soccer chick. Nobody email it.
Yeah, mine was JRT fan 93, Justin Randall Timberlake.
Oh my gosh.
And I saw that they were hiring for a commerce editor, and I had zero idea what this was. I don't know, this must have been like 2014, 2015. I had zero idea what that meant, but I was like, all right, I'm just gonna apply. And I got the job, and I was like, well, this is literally the only job I'm getting. It's not in fashion, but I guess I'm just going to take it because I have no other choice. And it was the best thing that ever happened to me. So, what a commerce now, it's like the most saturated thing ever. But at the time, it literally did not exist. A commerce editor is someone who's like writing those articles that's like the 5 best pairs of petite denim or the 5 best white t-shirts to buy. And they're all affiliate links through a platform. So, the publisher is not spending any money to create these articles, but they're making money by link clicks and by purchase conversion on the links. So I was doing that for, now that's like all we see. It's like Bustle and Who, What, Where and Vogue. It's like their whole media strategy is affiliate commerce now. But that's what I was doing for AOL. And I ended up literally doing it for 5 years.
Oh my gosh.
I know. And we built out like the commerce affiliate program. And then from there, I left and I went to Hearst to manage luxury fashion and commerce affiliate at like Harper's Bazaar and Cosmo and Town and Country. And I was there for 2 years before Favorite Daughter. So it was, and now it translates into my job now because we all work with like a Shop My or an LTK. And
Yeah.
that's exactly what it is, just on the opposite side.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk about moving over to Favorite Daughter into a social media role without social media experience.
None.
So talk to me about that process.
Okay, this is like a really crazy story. So I knew I wanted to move to LA from New York. And at the time, Hearst would not allow me to move because whatever. So I was like, okay, I need to get a job in LA. And this is like a great time to get into fashion. And I made a list of all the brands I was interested in working at. Favorite Daughter was at the top of my list because I was such a fan of Sarah and Erin and everything they've done before in their podcast. I remember in October of like 2021, I made a vision board of what I would want my life to look like if I moved to LA. And I creepily, now we could joke about it, had like Sarah and Erin all over the vision board.
That is so cute.
It's really cringe now, but it worked. And then that was October. Then February, I went to LA to look at an apartment. And I was at Sushi Fumi on La Cienega, which is a sushi restaurant. And the Favorite Daughter billboard is over Sushi Fumi. And it's like a hole in the wall where they like hand you a clipboard to sign in for the wait list. And I was like to my friend, oh, Sarah and Erin's billboard, like they look so beautiful. And she's like, oh yeah, they do. And then I literally 1 second later turned to my right and Erin hands me the clipboard to sign in to put my name down for Sushi Fumi. And I was like, hi.
Stop. That is what?
Yeah, it's crazy, right? And I was
That's
like,
oh my gosh,
it's
from a
so
movie.
kismet. I know. It sounds like I always preface the story where like, I'm not lying. I swear this happened. And I was like, hi, I would really love to work for you. Like I'm currently at Hearst. I'm moving to LA. And she was like, yeah, like, sure. People come to them all the time. That was it. I DM'd her that night and I was like, it was so nice meeting you at Sushi Fumi. I would like love to connect if there was any job openings. And, it never said red. So I was like, okay. And then 3 weeks later, I saw there was like a job posting for Favorite Daughter and I applied and it was like social content creator. And I was like, I've never created a piece of content in my life, but we're just going to apply. And then literally I got an email saying, hey, we saw you applied for this and Erin said that she met you at Sushi Fumi and she really liked your energy and like, let's hop on the phone. And then
oh my gosh.
that was it.
What a story.
Yeah.
That is insane. I also think that, like you mentioned, like you DM'd her and you're like, I don't even know if she saw it.
Yeah.
But I feel like, and even you pitched yourself to her in person, you're like, oh my gosh, probably everybody does it. But I feel like everybody thinks that everybody does it. So then you don't do it.
Totally.
And you accept the no before you even ask.
Yes, exactly. So shoot your shot because you
Yeah.
never know. She did see it and she
Yeah.
did tell, like HR or whoever that she met me and I was obviously such a stranger. And they really just took a chance on me. Like I had to do an edit test, obviously. So I was just like sitting on YouTube learning how to make like TikToks and edit content and use CapCut and Splice. And, everything is figure outable. You could really teach yourself anything, especially with the internet. And it worked out. And by the way, like for the first like year and a half of my job, I had the worst imposter syndrome. I was not good at my job, no matter what they say. Like I just wasn't. And it's okay to like learn and take time to like get to know things in your career. I don't think people expect you to like start and be like an expert. Well, I'm sure they did, but they always say I tricked them, that I made them seem like I was like a video expert. I was like, eh.
So you mentioned you had no experience. Why do you think they
Zero.
hired you?
Oh, that's a good question. I know this is such a cliche answer. I think I was just really passionate about the brand and wanting to work for them. And I think like there are so many skills you could learn in marketing and social media, and I could take everything I've learned and it wouldn't work if I was at like an amazing plant company or a candle company because I'm just not passionate about it. And so you can have all the skills, but at the end of the day, you have to be passionate about what you're marketing and what you're selling and what content you're creating. And I also just like know the brand so well because it's a 5-year-old's brand and I've been there for 3.5 years. So I've like really seen it from a year into the business. So I don't know. I think they just hired me based on really, really wanting to work for them.
I think passion is such an underrated thing to have when you are applying for a job because I even know from me, whenever we have jobs open at Sky Society, I love when somebody is obsessed with the Sky Society brand.
Right.
And they're applying because they're obsessed with the brand, not just because they're applying to jobs and they want a job and Sky Society is a job that they could get, but they're like, I love Sky Society. I listen to the podcast. I've been in the LinkedIn group and I love that. Actually, one of the hires we made on our team recently, she didn't have very actually similar story to you. She had no experience for the position that we hired her for, but she was just so persistent at working for the brand. I took a chance on her and she has been doing amazing. And I very much agree that if somebody's really passionate about the brand, that sometimes can absolutely be more important than experience.
Your skill set, because you could learn anything.
Yes.
Like, I mean, there's some things I definitely can't learn. Like, I'll never be able to learn math and things like that. That side of the brain is
It's okay, we're marketing girlies.
Exactly. But you can learn anything by doing things enough time, right? Or doing things enough times. But also, passion is what sustains your career, I think, because if you'll get burnout otherwise if you genuinely don't care about the company. Of course, not every day. I don't want to, there's certain parts of my job that that I don't want to do every single day or whatever it is, that's whatever. But I care about the brand, so I'm willing and down to do it. But if I was at I'm just using this plant company because it's in front of me, I don't know if I would care to see it succeed genuinely. Yeah. And I genuinely care to see favorite daughter succeed. So I think that's passion sustains it.
Also, like you mentioned how you were doing all the quote unquote correct things for social media and it wasn't working. I imagine the fact that you genuinely wanted the brand to succeed made you push and think more outside of the box, figure out what could work on social media versus somebody else being like, well, I'm doing the social media manager things and it's not working. I guess it's not working. I'm going to, I'm doing my job versus I feel like you took that approach of okay, we have to figure out how to make this work. I'm not going to settle for this subpar performance on social.
Yeah, totally. And I also think I was in an interesting position because I wasn't filling someone's shoes. I was creating a role. There wasn't a social person before me. I was the first social and I guess marketing person for favorite daughter. And so I kind of was able to make it up as I go. There wasn't a clear strategy or format or structure or cadence, social cadence posting or any of that. It was literally making it up as I go and throwing a lot of things at a wall and seeing what sticks.
Do you have advice for somebody who is maybe in a similar situation and they're trying to learn social media on the fly? Any resources that you used or any tips you can share?
I mean, in terms of resources, I think TikTok is the best resource. It's such a plethora of knowledge and information and perspective from people all over the world in all different careers and industries. And something so simple as I remember on TikTok, how to make a TikTok, things like that. But I would say the best piece of advice I could give someone with no experience who wants to get experience is cold outreach and say yes to literally everything. I have a friend who does not do social media and marketing. She's more in buying and sales, and she really wants to get into the marketing side. And influencers will post all the time on their stories, hey, looking for someone to shoot with for an hour to shoot a brand deal. And I'm go DM them and go shoot that brand deal for free. And then guess what? You get to add on your resume, captured brand content for XYZ. Just keep putting yourself out there and keep reaching out and doing these things. And then then market that you did that,
Yeah, I love that advice. It's a great piece. Okay, now tell me on the EGC side, so creating employer-generated content, do you have advice for getting your team to be excited about being in your content? Because I'm sure for some people it's oh my gosh, I have to go and ask accounting or finance to be in my TikToks. How did you approach that?
That's a really good question. Honestly, a lot of people don't necessarily want to be on camera, and you have to respect that. But I think getting to know who does and then establishing that relationship and also letting them take the reins. We just hired an amazing graphic designer who's so great with content, and I'm let's create behind the scenes content of how you're making this graphic come to life for XYZ, for a Valentine's Day capsule collection or whatever it is. And she's so down to do it. So look, you can't be pushy, you can't force people. I know when I'm filming in our fittings, there are people that don't want to be in the content, but I think it's just you kind of have to I guess instinctually guess who is down to do it.
Yeah. Or even if you ask something, they say, no, that's totally okay. Not everybody's going to be comfortable on camera. And
can't force it.
Not everybody wants to be on. That's totally fine, right? Not everybody's a social media person, but finding the ones that are and that are excited about it. And I feel like you might be surprised too. Maybe you were surprised about who was excited and down to create content.
And also complimenting someone. If someone's in the office and they're on the sales team and their outfit's so cute, be wait, your outfit is so cute. It's all favorite daughter. Can I please take a video of you for TikTok and can you tell me what I'm wearing? And then they feel good and you're hyping them up.
Yeah. So it becomes a positive for them and they get a shout out on social.
Exactly.
Okay. And then anything else you feel like you've really learned through your time creating content for favorite daughter and going from feeling stuck and like your content is not working to now kind of finding your niche?
That's such a good question. I feel like I've learned so much. I think the biggest thing I've learned is that like you can just do this with an iPhone and a good light. It doesn't need to be this like overly produced, overly edited and this and that um thing because we've like especially for the paid ads that we run, like we have seen such insane sales and growth from these low produced videos. So again, like anyone can do it. You don't need like a whole setup. We just did a 2-hour live shopping stream and it crushed it. It was such a success. And we literally did it with like a ring light from Amazon in our Beverly Hills store and an iPhone.
Oh my gosh. Wait, tell me about this because live shopping is all the rave now.
Oh
So,
my
what did you
God.
guys do? How did it come about? Tell me about it.
I like wake up in the middle of the night. I'm like, okay, live shopping, live shopping. So yes, exactly to your point. It literally is the future. It's apparently where everything's heading. This is what they tell us. So we're leaning in and seeing it. But for us, it was such a like I don't want to say struggle, but such a decision to decide what live streaming platform we want to use. There's so many of them. There's Whatnot, there's TikTok Live, there's YouTube Live, there's all of these. But our price point's a little bit higher than someone just buying like, you know, a blanket or like I don't know, whatever it is that they buy from TikTok Shop. So we were like, does this make sense for favorite daughter? Like are people gonna buy a $595 suede jacket on TikTok Shop? Like I don't necessarily know. And then we did a lot of research and we found this luxury live shopping platform called Covet by Christos. And what's really interesting about him is that he does it via Instagram Live. And on Instagram Live, you can't tag product. So he has a team that is manually pinning comments and taking orders while we're like tuned in and showing the clothes on a bunch of different models.
That is so interesting. So, you are going live on Instagram Live
We're
or Instagram
joining
Stories?
his live.
You're joining his live. So,
Mhm.
is that an Instagram? He's an Instagram account?
Yeah, he's an Instagram account, but he just has like this niche following of like luxury shoppers.
Oh my goodness.
And it was more manual than probably like a YouTube live would be where you can like literally tag the product and have people just add to cart. But it completely outperformed anything we would have done. And he has such a great business in that and like we'll definitely do it again. And it was such a great partnership. But yeah, it was like 90 minutes of like no script, like just totally like chaotic.
Was
like
it you on the camera?
it was me, it was Sarah, it was Erin. Sarah and Erin's chief of staff is Montana. And people like love her. They know her from like Sarah and Erin's podcast. And so she came on camera and she was doing it and everyone, I mean, she was the star of the show. Everything that she put on was like ringing the register all day long. So it was fun.
Okay, wait, I want you to walk me through because I feel like this
Yeah.
is new and I am hearing like it's live shopping is the future and everybody's talking about it. So you guys go live and you are putting on clothes,
We
showing
did
the clothes.
55 SKUs in 90 minutes. Yeah. So we did. Well, okay, I'm going to give all the marketing tricks away.
Please.
We started, so our jeans are like 238, I would say. Our like belts are not under 150s. But to do a live shopping in 90 minutes, we really wanted to be worth our while. So the strategy behind that was to do higher ticket items first. So like our suede, our leather, matching sets, because then people are buying two. And then kind of starting with the most expensive items, going down the line.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, because God forbid you run out of time.
Yeah.
And so that's what it was. So we had 50 SKUs hanging on a rolling rack on a hanger, and we had 2 people on our team come help us. And behind the scenes, we were like we also hired 2 models to do it. So we really had like 5 people. So at all times, someone was on camera showing something. But behind the scenes, we're like, okay, we got to put them in number 4. Okay, number 4 is done. We got to put them in number 5, this, that. It was so I think I posted like a behind the scenes video of how chaotic it was. But in front of the camera, you couldn't tell. But like, you know, I was on camera like handing Erin like the next jacket to throw on and things like that. And we really got granular about it, talking about because also everything was final sale, which was great. So we're really getting granular, talking about measurements, the bust, the width of the shoulder, everything. And yeah, I don't know if that answered your
That is
question.
so interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's so interesting to hear. And all like you had to, I'm sure, pick all the 50 SKUs that you were going
Oh
to
yeah,
show.
there was so much prep.
So interesting hearing the order, which totally makes sense. Do the most expensive products 1st.
Mhm.
And then, so you're saying their team, then you're showing SKU number 1, they're pinning the comment for that item so you can purchase it.
Yeah. So yeah,
And then every time
exactly.
the SKUs change, they're changing the pinned comments.
Yeah, and they have someone on their team like manually in real time taking orders, being like, it was kind of like an auction, and also beforehand, like we numbered all the things. So like the Morgan jean was number 7, and like we then provided them a list of all the names of our clothes matched up by number, and then on the rack, each hanger was numbered with the number. So on the show, it wasn't referred to as like the Morgan jean. It was like number 7, number 8.
Oh my gosh. And then if you're taking an order manually, am I like DMing my credit card information? Is that how it happens?
Their team sends an invoice at the end. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. For whatever the customer pin comments. I mean, they are like working overtime in real time. But
Yeah.
Instagram took away their product tagging
Why?
feature on lives. Like you could obviously do it on story, but and in feed. I have no idea why.
That's so crazy.
It's money to be made there.
Yeah, because I'm sure they would want to compete with TikTok's. Yeah.
We've got to talk to them. If anyone at Meta is listening,
please
let us know.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is so interesting to hear. And thank you for giving us some behind the scenes on that. And I'm sure, too, as a brand, you mentioned it is a new thing. Was it kind of scary to be a first adopter to this?
It gave me such anxiety in the middle of the night before, because I was like, we're live. And like Sarah and Aaron are born to be on screen. So I wasn't worried about that. I was more worried about like the flow of like over 50 SKUs in 90 minutes and like making sure that each product was accounted for and making sure that like each thing got its time on screen, or each style got its time on screen and was like, really talked about. And also, again, like I just had never done it before. I've never like filmed anything live. So yeah.
What a crazy experience.
Yeah. But again, like if we did it on any of these other platforms, I'm not sure that it would have been as successful as doing something where there's like a built-in luxury audience. Like I don't know if I posted in our broadcast channel, or if I posted on story, hey, everyone tune into like YouTube or whatnot, if our audience would have gone there,
That's interesting, because this ties back into what you started the episode with, which is not everything is for everyone, or like you have to figure out what works for you and your audience and your brand and your price point and all of those things. And it's not just about doing live shopping. It's about thinking, like who is our customer? Where are they going to be? And where is this actually going to perform the best?
Yeah, exactly. And then like also like getting people hyped before, like, 3 days before, 2 days before, being like, tune in this time. That way people are like marking their calendars and they know to look forward to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Okay. So more live shopping maybe to come?
Oh, definitely. 100%. We're already going to plan the next one.
Exciting. Okay. Anything else that you've worked on at Favorite Daughter that you are really proud of, or anything that you really, really enjoyed?
Ooh, that's such a good question. I mean, I think the thing that I'm like, not necessarily that I've worked on, that I'm most proud of is like seeing all the product expansion. Because like when I started, it was really like collection, denim, and like logo. Like logo is obviously like a huge business for us. Favorite daughter, mom of the year, favorite grandma, dog, mom, whatever it is. And then since I've started, we've expanded into shoes, belts. Breaking news, we're launching handbags, and seeing all the store expansion. So it's fun to be on like the marketing side and bringing those like collaborations and drops to life. But I think just being part of something from the ground up is like the thing that I'm the most proud of.
Yeah. That's amazing. And then also manifesting your vision board.
I know, it's so crazy.
That is so crazy.
It really works, I swear.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for somebody who really wants to work in social media? They see your job and they're like, that sounds so cool, but they're maybe just not trying to get started.
Yeah. I mean, how to get started is kind of what I said before, is like literally not feeling shy to like DM someone and ask them to grab coffee, or ask for a 15-minute Zoom. Like I was on Sarah and Aaron's podcast, and from that, I got like a lot of messages. I was so surprised. I got like so many DMs and LinkedIn messages, and I took I answered every single DM. I took every single coffee meeting. I think 2 weeks after that, I'm not being dramatic, 25 coffee meetings in a week. Like whether that was like before work or I would hop on a Zoom with someone and it was like a virtual coffee. But like, I think people want to help you more than you realize. And like not being afraid to put yourself out there. Like I think people be like, oh, I don't think you're probably going to answer this, but I'm like, no, let's grab coffee because I think you have to pay it forward. I remember like back in the day when I was like interning and at FIT, I would like cold outreach to all these people and like some would answer and some wouldn't. And I remembered who didn't answer. And I think, yeah, really, really put yourself out there and pick people's brains and network and get to know people. Cause like the Erin thing, like when I met her at Fumi, if I was just like a resume in like a black hole, but she didn't see my personality or we didn't have face-to-face contact, I don't know if it necessarily would have worked out. But we had like a personal, even if like connection, even if it was for 30 seconds, we still had that face-to-face interaction. And so I think that's really important. Show up to things. If there's like community events for a brand that you like, go and say hi and introduce yourself. Like just get out of your house and get off your phone and like go, you know?
Yeah. And like you said, you never know. I feel like I talk about this all the time on the podcast, but creating your own luck, I'm just a big believer in that. And you went to sushi one night and maybe you could have stayed home and canceled your plans and you went out to dinner and it turned into something that led to your career, which is so crazy.
Yeah, it changed the trajectory of like my life. Like it also led me just to like living in a different city, like all these things. But I really think people need to like reach out as much as if there's someone's career that you like are like inspired by, ask them for 10 minutes. Like just really connect with people. That's like the best. And then also just like create your own content and create a portfolio based off that, you know?
Yeah, I love that. And I want to go back to the coffee chats because I know there are a lot of marketing girlies who maybe are trying to get coffee chats. Is there anything that people did in coffee chats with you that really stood out to you and that you really liked that they can maybe take as a tip for going into any coffee chats that they do?
Well, the surface level answer is pick somewhere convenient for the person that you want to make coffee with.
Good. Ask them, what part of town do you live in? That's a great one.
Because especially if I was like fitting them in before work, I would like literally get coffee from like, I swear, like 7:45 to like 9 and then go to the office and meet like 3 people at a row.
You're so sweet for doing that.
That's really kind. That's not even why I'm saying that, but it's more just like because also like you don't know where all those people are going to end up. Like your paths cross so many times over and over and over. And I think like building your network and your like community of people around you is so freaking important. It's like the thing that helps me the most in life is just like having a community of people that you can like tap into. And so many of those people have like come from those 15-minute pick your brain coffee meetings, you know? But the first step to go back to your question is to make it convenient for the person that you want to meet. So they aren't like, you know, like, oh, I have to get up and go, you know, around the corner. And don't really treat it like an interview. Treat it like a personal conversation, you know? Like, yeah, of course, it's so great to like come in with questions, but like really like get to know someone on a human level, not just necessarily like a professional level.
That's a really great tip.
Really?
I think that's great because I even say this with even any meeting I do for work. I always will start with the small talk. And I know sometimes like you want to go like straight to business, but I feel like those little conversations that you have build the relationships. And especially if you're going to sit down with someone, like, yeah, you can come out with your questions, but same with me on this podcast. If I came here with a pre-list of questions, you and I never would have talked about live shopping. You and I never would have talked about all these other topics, but instead I approach these episodes with letting the guest lead and following what I think is interesting and being curious and leading with curiosity versus being like, I have to get through these 10 questions on my list.
Totally. And also like post coffee chat, the follow-up of it all. Like, of course you want like the thank you so much for your time, but also like follow that person on Instagram and like reply to their story 7 months from now being like, oh my God, like that's also my favorite singer. Or you know what I mean? Like keep the conversation going so it doesn't also feel random when maybe you want like an intro down the line to someone, whatever it is. Like the follow through is probably the most important part, like maintaining that relationship and not on like a way where you're like asking for favors, but like, oh my God, your shoes are so cute. Where'd you get them? You know?
I think that's such a good tip too, because I noticed too who is like swiping up on a DM I
Mhm.
post about Secret Society or Marketing Girly. And it can be so simple, like you said, like I love your shoes or any small thing where that person or you're
How
like,
was that
oh,
restaurant?
exactly.
Yeah, that's
And you're
it.
not being like, I need this from you, I need this from you, I need this from you. It's just like being interested in them. It can be like, commenting on a LinkedIn post you see. It could be
Yeah.
swiping up on their story and just showing interest. And then, yeah, whenever maybe you do see a job opening at their company or something happens, it's going to feel a lot more organic to reach out to them.
100%. It's really just like developing like a relationship, you know? Like
Mhm.
I have so many internet friends on DM that like I talk to all the time and like I've never met them in person, but we just like DM back and forth and it's like so not weird.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that. Amazing. Okay, Laura, you have shared so much great
Oh, I'm
advice.
so happy.
I feel like we've gone through so many different things, and
Yeah.
I hope people are taking lots of notes because we've talked about so much good
I hope
stuff.
so too.
Do you have any last advice you want to give to the marketing girlies?
Ooh. I mean, I feel like I give the same advice all the time. I think be really kind to every single person you meet. I know that's like again cliche, but in terms of like marketing is such a social industry, whether it's like community and events or, you know, when we throw favorite daughter events and people are like asking questions about work and what it's like to work a favorite daughter, like take those conversations and treat them like really personal and be really kind and be really really warm, and just like I don't know, like be like human. It's like don't treat things like transactional, you know, like especially with like your coworkers, like genuinely ask them how their weekend was, genuinely follow up and say, wait, did you have fun at that concert? Like just like create like a community for yourself, if that makes sense. Like I
Yeah,
think it goes a really long way to be warm and kind, and it also just like makes you be someone that people want to work with, you know?
that's an amazing last piece to end this episode on. Thank
Oh,
you
good. I'm glad.
so much for coming on Marketing
Yay.
Girly. I've had so much fun chatting with
Thank
you.
you so much. This was so fun, and I can't wait to listen to more episodes of your pod.